Right, what I was gonna do is try to create some kind of halfway decent bass drum sound. Yeah, what I was talking about ages before I got onto that um, digression was this issue where when you have a data offset and you change the pitch, it just flies off the edge of the screen because if you think about what's happening there, it does make sense. But it's just it's one of these things that's unintuitive. So I should be doing some kind of deliberately incorrect thing just so that what actually happens makes sense for the user. Makes sense for me, at least. Because this is really annoying. Um, Obviously, you could just click once to get a point, and then that's the kind of thing you're expecting to happen, right? But that's a complicated problem to set up. Because then as soon as you like you could say, well, just automatically create some kind of hidden point there so that when you start adding pitch points, it does a correct thing. But then what happens if you do this and then start creating points over here, for example? I don't know. A lot of this stuff is like open source on my GitHub. There's a repository called Blockhead Generators, and the sampler plugins are in there. And a lot of this is dealt with by the sampler. So if anyone wants to solve the problem, go do it. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah. Can I? Oh, I could use the new curves. Look at this. Cool. I feel like when I hover over this segment editing area, this square that I have here, this point should like light up when I hover over. At the moment, there needs to be some visual feedback there. At the moment, it doesn't. Or maybe the entire square should light up a little bit as well. Let's make a note of that. Oh, I finished this, didn't I? Macros sometimes don't reboot, blah blah blah. I uploaded a video on that. Let's put this number 2. I started organizing this list in order of priority. Visual feedback when cursor hovers the segment envelope segment curve editing area, light up area and the edit handle. That would be nice. So that's a really bad sounding bass drum. How do I want to do this? Something like this. It's the first time I've actually played around with these curves in an actual creative way. Trying to create some kind of... I hate this menu. I can't wait to fix this. I can't wait to get rid of this menu and replace it with something better. Got a plan. It's going to be great. Sounds really bad. Let's just use this. This one. Get rid of that. Hey, that's almost... That almost sounds good. I'm clipping a bit. Do I have some kind of... Yeah, I do have a saturator. What does this do? Yeah. That's cool. Don't know what I'm doing. What am I... Is that the kind of thing I'm trying to do? I don't know. The main thing I'm doing right now is just trying to use Blockhead in an actual, like using it in a real way and seeing if it where it crashes. It seems to be doing pretty well so far, huh? I have like an idea in my head of the sound I'm trying to create, but I'm so bad at this kind of stuff. I don't think it's an indictment on the Blockhead at all. It's just me. Haven't tested hot switching plugins yet. Effect plugins. Hey, hello. Okay. So this is the button bar. The selector bar on the top left of the block that has the parameter names that you can click on. Just crashed. Button view, button is null. Get button info. Did we get an assertion failure? Here? No? Struct set null. If that's null, then why? How does this assert work when I'm in release mode? Should do something. I could check my logs. Yeah, it did hit this assert. It failed the assert. Okay, that makes sense then. It doesn't output the assertion failures to the console, I've noticed in release mode. I didn't know that, but now I do. So, well, the problem is, I'm pretty sure, I had... So I select a parameter on this effect, then I hot switch the plugin. Now, because I've changed the way things work, it's remembering the current parameter that is selected, and when I change the plugin, it's going to try to reselect that parameter. But I'm changing to a plugin that doesn't have that parameter anymore. So it's if I change to a parameter that if I change to another plugin that does have that parameter, like for example, wet, I think if I change to reverb, no, it still fails, even though the Spring Reverb does have a wet parameter, right? Or does it have a dry parameter? Come on, please. Oh no, it has a mix parameter, yeah. This is fine, that's a breakpoint. So, yeah, if I have a low pass filter, I add mix modulation, then I switch to a different plugin which also happens to have a mix parameter, then that modulation data is not lost. And it automatically, even though it rebuilt this menu, it recognized that we had the mix parameter selected on the previous plugin, so let's reselect that, and it does it just faster than you can see it happening. So it looks like it's just stays selected. But if we have something like resonance selected and then we switch to a plugin that does not have that parameter, then it's trying to reselect that parameter which doesn't exist. So it all makes sense. The bug makes sense. It should just shouldn't happen. So this is here, right? And after this, I need to have a break because this coffee's going through me. I need to go to the loo. Why did I say that out loud? It's so unnecessary to say that out loud. I could just keep that to myself. Something about a recording. I start opening up about my inner thoughts. Um, it might be because I just never talk to anybody usually. So when I get the chance to talk. So I need to check if this. Well, where do I want to put the logic for this? Emulate select. I think I would just yeah, that's just this is also going to be a problem for the manipulators, so I have to do the same fix for the manipulators. So I'm just going to create a function here. Has button for this UUID, which is the ID which refers to the parameter. Do I have a button for this parameter? Return this. What's the problem? Oh. Could you wake up, please? Please wake up. Or learn to program. So if... let's get the selector... selector... header. Selector. If selector has button for current param UI get current edit param UID let's go like this. Select blah blah blah. And I'm not even going to test that because I'm so confident. I'm not going to test it right away. I'm going to do the same fix for manipulator blocks, and then I'll test them both. Or is it on opened? Does this work in the same way? Here. Yes. So this works in a slightly different way. So we're not dealing with parameter UUIDs anymore. I have this more generic thing of a UID, which is basically a string, which is basically always going to be a UUID at the moment, but it's just in the string format. But the reason I'm using a string instead is because I want to, in the future, I want manipulator blocks to be able to modulate things like VST plugins and things like that, and so I won't be dealing with UUIDs at that point. I'll be dealing with something else. So I've sort of tried to future-proof this a little bit. Anyway, current target UID. Like this. Let's line all this up again, like a doofus. Current target UID. We should always exist, so this assertion is correct. And then we go header selector. If selector has button for current target UID. Oh, is it actually ID? It's a local ID. Okay, that makes sense. Fine. Not a problem. Target ID. Target ID. There's a button for the target ID. So I'm going to copy this to here. Has button for ID, target ID. How does this work? Get button. Oh, I have the... Whoa! I have a boost by map. How modern. I forgot I did that. How's button 4? Okay, so we go return by map. Left find target ID. Okay. Now I'll test both of those. Yeah. Excuse me while I just die. Oh. Sorry if you were screaming at your computer then. You didn't delete the line. Okay. So select size. Switch to a plugin that doesn't have size. Okay, it doesn't crash now, but it doesn't close the envelope editor. Keeps it open. I'm sure if I interact with this now, it will crash, right? No, it doesn't even crash. Yeah, it does crash. Okay. So that envelope editor should close. mod parameter opened? Oh, it shouldn't be getting to this point, should it? On mod parameter opened. Hold on. What's happening? I should be doing this test beforehand, I think. Also, I just realised I've done it wrong. I just realised. So we do this. Open. This is incorrect. We shouldn't be getting to here. No. Reopen current editor. This is wrong. This test is wrong. Right. I've done it wrong. This is an incorrect fix. I shouldn't be just seeing if there's a button in the bar for the parameter. That's stupid. I should be testing whether the parameter or the I should be testing if it's valid for the current plugin. Also, I didn't need to do this fix for the manipulator because this can never occur with the manipulators, because you can't hot switch plugins with manipulators. It's not part of it. Okay, so this is what happens when you don't drink enough coffee. All of this stuff that I did just doesn't make any sense. So that's fine. Let's just discard all of it. Let's commit this. Fix data offset snapping bug. Right, let's rethink this. So after the plugin changes, I call this function reopen current editor. And I'm checking this parameter registry to see if the current edit parameter exists. And it does, because when you change plugin, the plugin data continues to exist in that block, even if the plugin that you're. Sorry, let me rephrase. If you add modulation data for a parameter of a plugin, that modulation data continues to exist even after you change the plugin to a different. If you change the block to a different plugin which doesn't support that parameter, the parameter data is not lost. It continues to be stored against that block, because parameter data is stored against blocks rather than the plugin that is currently set up for the block. Which means if you, for example, add some amplitude data, switch to a plugin that doesn't have an amplitude parameter, and then switch back to a plugin that does have an amplitude parameter, then your previous amplitude modulation data will be recovered because it's stored against a block, so it's still there. So when we reopen the current editor, we're simply testing if that parameter exists in the registry, and it always will. So this test will always pass. Instead, I should be testing if the if the parameter exists for the new plugin. So let me just have a quick look at this. Parameters. See if there's an interface for that here. I don't think there is. Fuck is all this? What is find mod parameter would do it. Because this map is refreshed when the plugin changes, right? So that's what I should be using. Find mod parameter. Oh, but that's gonna... That's not good. Can I not just... Base plugin. Find parameter. But I need to get the actual... Okay, fine. Okay. This is not a problem. So find parameter. How does this work? Find parameter. By index. Ew. Find... What's this function? Oh no. So this doesn't have the interface that I need. Has parameter. By ID. PO parameter ID. What is that? What is this? Parameter type. UUID. So I can query it like this. PID. Type is have a look. PID. UID. So if the plugin has this parameter, then we get the actual parameter, not using find, but using get, because we know it exists, right? Get this is returning an optional or an expected or something. Right, yeah. Okay, let's do things properly, I suppose. Right. P. If not P, then we need to log the error. And return. If I do this and return. Otherwise, P This I think is a reference wrapper. Open editor. Yes? Otherwise we do this. Okay, we do that for chords as well. That should do it, I think. What did I do? You're not wrong. Were you screaming at me? Were you screaming at your computer when you saw that? I would be. Right. No, not that. Please. Time. It's still fucked. That didn't do what I hoped it would. If blah blah, then blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. It's not doing what I hoped. This should fail. What? Why did... What? I don't even know what happened there. I stepped once and it went to the end of the function. Return false. So it should go to here. Am I blind? What's going on? I feel like... Oh, it's because it's in release mode. Sorry. So, yeah. It's in release mode. So the debugger's going to jump all over the place. This is not doing what I hoped. Set current edit param. Does that not close the editor? Maybe not. This is not even used for anything. I mean, it's not watched. So I'm not closing the editor. Reopen current editor. I think when I call reopen current editor, I'm assuming that all the editors are closed at that point. What plugin changed? We're not closing the editors, which is fine. It's fine. Alright, it's fine. We're going to blah. This is not that big a problem. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit here. But at least the code is clear what is actually happening here. I'm not obfuscating anything at all. If I just do this. Please. Yes, I do. I love this shit that Windows does. This context menu's here for it to stay now, unless you select something. No, it's just here forever now. Does it go away if I do that? It's okay. That context menu is my mascot for the rest of the session. I can't believe Microsoft has never addressed this issue. It happens in like all their products. It's like a problem with Windows rather than any specific. I'm gonna have to restart. They've never solved that problem. It's a bug that's plagued their operating system for 30 years. They've never figured it out. Okay. Are we done? There we go, it closed. Now, this freeze effect has a pitch. If I do that, and then select something else that has a pitch, like a resonator, then it stays open. Good. If I switch away from something that has pitch and then switch back, the data should still be there. Yes. Beautiful stuff. Okay, good. So fix. Plugin hot switching. I'm not gonna. Let's just give it a simple description there. Okay, there we go.